Hey guys, it's the Unsmooth Criminal, and I'm here on a one shot that I hope you guys want to actually, or not want a one shot. This is the start of a series, and I hope you guys want to follow it and wish to have this series continue. We start off with a 4-year-old child, and he's at the quirk doctor. No, sorry, it's a she. It's a what if Deku was a what if Fem Deku. If and she started at the she's at the quirk doctor, and we're starting there. And this is not a one for all's quirk doctor, and this man has a stat screen as his, and his code name is Zero, because everybody he affects with his quirk is either someone who has potential for the world-ending kind of quirk and needs to have a limiter on them, or has uh, a guaranteed world-ending quirk and that needs a system to limit their power. And this girl walks in and she has, if you guys are on my Discord, you'll know what that I'm going to do. But she has cat ears and a cat tail. No, not cat. She looks like this. And right now she is cuffed with a special ribbon that came with her quirk. That she was born with this ribbon, and it's forever binding her hands. And her hands are, she looks exactly like this, and well, she actually has clothes on. And he sees this and goes, okay, hopefully I can change this and have her a normal life. So he puts his hand over her head or over her forehead, and she faints. And her mother's like, is she dead? And he goes, I don't know. And she goes, well, if she is, see ya. And she just walks out. And he's like, what the fuck is her problem? And he checks her pulse and he goes, she's not dead. And he yells out there and she goes, I don't care. I'm still leaving. And he's like, what the hell? This is your child. And she's already out of the building. And so he's like, oh, god damn it. So he calls up Aizawa saying, there's another one. And Aizawa goes, I'm sorry, but I can't take it anymore. Why don't you call Midnight? She might be able to. And Aizawa is gay in this one and has Mike. And they have 4 children, or 4 adopted children. And so she's put on a bed, and he's like, okay, let me use my quirk on her. So he puts her quirk into a system. And it's called the Lord of Destruction system, and it's specifically made for her. And she wakes up and she sees this man sitting there. Not sitting there, well, in front of her. Standing and waiting for her to wake up. So he says, you're finally awake. And she goes, yeah, where's my mom? And he goes, how can I tell you this? And she goes, did that bitch finally leave? And he goes, what? And she looks down and sees her hands are not bound in front of her, and she goes, the hell? And she looks at her wrist, and there's a red band on her wrist. On both wrists, actually. And she goes, the fuck? And he goes, first off, language. And second off, what do you mean did she finally leave? And she looks up going, yeah, she's been torturing me the last few years of my life. Good on her for fucking leaving. And she's just cussing like a drunken sailor. And he goes, what did I say about language? And she goes, oh, sorry. It's habit. And he goes, it shouldn't be. You're 4. And she goes, yeah, but I'm mentally 10 from me having to grow up 30 times faster than I actually have to. Than I actually should. And he goes, true. And she says, are you the system guy? And he goes, yes. And she goes, okay, so if I say what to trigger it? And he goes, you are a special case. And she goes, what do you mean I'm a special case? He goes, you have to have a personalized system. Your system is called Lord of Destruction. And she goes, okay. And he goes, every year you're going to level up. And your max level is 15. By the time you turn 15, you're already 4 right now. But by the time you turn 15, you're going to be level 15. And if you don't master your strength by 15 years old, one wrong step on the sidewalk or just on plain old dirt will destroy the world. And she goes, okay. And he goes, don't worry, don't worry. Your quirk evolved from just being the Lord of Destruction to being the Empress of Destruction. So I can't see your potential anymore, but it looks like your quirk is now sentient. And she goes, okay, what do you mean sentient? And she sees a nemesis. She sees her right next to herself, and she goes, hi, I'm Nemesis. I'm apparently what you call a quirk. And she's like, okay, what can you do? And Nemesis says, I can turn into a Vulcan cannon, I can turn into 4 Vulcan cannons, and I can turn into a giant battleship that rolls on tracks and can obliterate an entire city in 2 shots. And I can turn into a sword, a halberd, and a shield. And she goes, you can turn into a halberd? Aren't those the long pole thingies with the flag thingy on the back? And Nemesis goes, yeah. And the doctor goes, okay, so there's someone coming to adopt you in an hour or two. And she goes, I don't want to be adopted. I want to go to the forest. And he goes, I'm sorry, but you must be adopted by somebody. And she goes, if they won't allow me to go into the forest for 6 years, so my body can grow to the mental age of me, then yeah, I'm not taking them. He goes, they're a pro hero, so you're gonna have to listen to them, sadly. Anything else I should mention? Midnight. And Midnight walks in going, no. Now how the hell do you do that? You're just like Aizawa. How the hell do you do that? And he goes, I do have a system in front of me, and it shows a mini-map. And she goes, oh my god, I forgot about that. Did you give Aizawa a system? And he goes, nope. Aizawa's just freakishly smart and can freakishly sense people around her. And this girl on the bed is just cringing at the smell that is radiating off of Midnight. And she goes, Midnight, I'm guessing you're the pro hero, the rated R one? And she goes, yeah. And she goes, you stink of rabbits. And Midnight blushes a little and goes, oh yeah, that's my wife. And she goes, oh, well, sure. Animalistic household, sure. And he goes, that was easy. Well, I'll take my leave. You guys can discuss your terms and agreements for that adoption. So the doctor walks out. We're not going to talk to him again. Well, we might later, but we're not going to talk to him again in this episode. And Midnight walks up to her and says, "What is your name?" And she goes, my designation in the household was brat. Mistake. Worthless piece of trash. Money waster. And Midnight's face is just going more and more into horror from all the names that her biological mother said to her. So Midnight's like, okay, first off, you're not a monster. You're not a biological mistake. You're not a mistake at all. You're a beautiful creature. And she goes, thank you. And she shows her toothy grin from the fangs. And she shows the really sharp fangs, too. And she has medium long hair. It's down to the middle of her shoulder blades. And Midnight can't help but smile at this grin. And she goes, so what is your quirk? And she goes, apparently it's called Empress of Destruction. And on the system screen that he gave me, it says, if ribbon is broken, Ragnarok shall start. What the fuck is Ragnarok? And Midnight's like, I know the name, I know that thingy. Ragnarok. The end of the world. Oh, yeah, it's the end of the world. And she looks at her wrist and sees the ribbon is now firmly attached to her wrist and goes, I don't think it's broken. So we're good. Hopefully. And Midnight goes, hold on. And she calls the doctor back in and says, what happened to the ribbon? And he goes, oh, the one that bound her hands together? Yeah, my quirk adjusted that to where it's 2 ribbons. So the effect gets doubled if both ribbons break. Then she causes the end of the world. So if one ribbon breaks, she doesn't cause the end of the world. No, her power level doubles. And the girl on the bed, I haven't said her name yet, starts grinning happily. And he goes, but the system will only allow you to break them when you turn 21. And she looks at him and goes, the hell? Why 21? What the fuck, man? And she's starting to cuss again, and he goes, language. And she goes, fucking fine. Jesus fucking Christ. And she starts to stop cussing. Starts to stop. But she doesn't stop. And he goes, oh, God. If there's anything else you need, just call me on my phone. I'll tell you over the phone. And he walks out of the room, slamming the door because he's pissed off that she won't stop cussing. And Midnight goes back to talking with her. And she asks for the last time because she's just in a ragged old clothes that have been on her for a long time. And Midnight finally asks, so what has your mother been doing to you? And she goes, prostitution, beating me, and Midnight's like, whoa, go back to the first one. And she goes, what, prostitution? And Midnight goes, yeah. A 4-year-old getting raped. And she goes, no. Prostitution. I got the money. It's either that or I beat the crap out of my mother for her not giving me the money because I'm the one doing the deed. So she only did it like twice. And Midnight's like, what? And she says, yeah, I don't give a fuck. I have the mind of a 10-year-old, but I know everything like have been alive for millions of years. And she's talking like a old wise man, just cussing a lot though. And Midnight's like, okay. Um, I'm guessing it shows your stats. And she goes, yeah. And Midnight goes, I have a system too, because mine can easily kill men if it's not controlled. And she goes, oh, what's your quirk? And Midnight says, ever since I got my system, it's called sleeping gas. And she goes, oh, guessing it only affects men? And Midnight goes, no, it affects men more than women, though. And she goes, oh, how about beasts? And she goes, it doesn't affect beasts at all. And so Midnight finally says, okay, we need to go to home. We need to go home. I'm guessing you have nothing at home? And she goes, nope. I was locked in a dark room for the last 4 years of my life and given only a raw piece of meat. So can I have some meat? And Midnight goes, raw? And she goes, yeah. And Midnight goes, sorry, there's no raw meat in my house. I don't allow that. And she goes, but I like raw meat. And Midnight goes, I'm a grill a piece of meat for you. And you get to meet my wife. And she goes, okay. So they go to Midnight's home, and it's a big home. It's not small, but it's also not huge like some homes. And they walk in, and Midnight finally asks, whoa. Before we go any further, what's your name? Oh, and she goes, that's easy, Fenris. And Midnight goes, Fenris. What? And yeah, she goes, my name is Fenris. Apparently I'm a child of Loki. Or something like that. From the legends of long ago. I don't believe it. My asshole of a father left for America, and my mother was a bitch. So, please take care of me. And she looks up and it gives a toothy grin again. And Midnight goes, okay, I will. And so Midnight goes to the fridge and she pulls out a big, thick cut of T-bone steak. And Izumi's mouth starts watering seeing how big it is. And be like, can I have it, please? And she goes, not yet. There's 3 hours till dinner. And Izumi goes, I haven't eaten since yesterday morning. And she goes, the hell? How many times does she feed you a week? And she goes, 2 to 3, depending on how good I've been. And Midnight says, I know this is a very strange question, but are you potty trained? And she goes, yeah, but all she gave me was a bucket. So maybe not? I don't know. And Midnight goes, okay, give me a minute. And so she pulls out some spices, some seasonings, throws it in a bag, throws the meat in there, and starts letting it marinate in the seasonings. And she goes, if you touch that piece of meat before it's done, You're not getting meat tomorrow morning. You're getting vegetables. And Fenris pales at this, going, "What the fuck are vegetables? I already don't like them just by the name." And Midnight goes, "Oh, you're going to be easy to train." And Fenris hears this and goes, "You don't train a wolf. A wolf trains you." And Midnight goes, "We'll see." So, so Midnight shows her around the house, shows her her room, and she goes, "Okay, this is a little too clean." And Midnight goes, "No, this isn't a little too clean. This is just right for a human being." And she goes, "I'm no fucking human. I'm Fenris. I'm a wolf." And Midnight goes, "No, you're a human being with the quirk that gives you the appearance of a wolf. Now, if this room isn't clean like this every day, or if this room is dirty when I check it every weekend, once a weekend, you're getting smaller pieces of meat every meal." And Fenris pales at this, going, "Okay, I'll stay this clean." Oh crap, my voice is cracking. I'll be right back. So we now go to 2 hours later, after Midnight has shown her her room, what a bathroom looks like, because she's been stuck in a basement, and brings her back to it and says that there's 59 minutes and 30-ish seconds left till I start grilling the meat, and then you can have it after I'm done grilling it, and you wait 5 minutes. So you really have to wait an hour and a half to get it. She goes, "I want it now." And she starts to cry animate tears because she's hungry. And Mirko walks in being like, "Honey, I'm home." And she's still on her hero outfit, and she goes, "Oh, Mirko or Rumi?" And she goes, "Yes." And she pops her head into the kitchen real quickly, and her ears are flopped to the left, which her head's on the right. Or her head's on the right, so her ears are flopped to the left. And she sees another person and goes, "Oh, okay." And she fully walks into the kitchen and goes, "Did you want something?" And she goes, "Yes. I want you to meet the one that we have adopted today." And Mirka sees the toothy grin that she's giving off. And she goes, and her animal instincts, because she does have some animal instincts that are like, "Run the fuck away." So she's fighting the urge to run the hell away. And she goes, "Hi, I'm Rumi. I'm also the pro hero Mirko. And who may you be?" And she goes, "I'm the Empress of Destruction." And she didn't even say her real name. And Midnight goes, "She means your real name." And she goes, "Fine. It's a little joke, though. It's the name of my quirk. I'm Fenris." And Rumi goes, "Oh, well, hello, Fenris. Looks like you're gonna be staying with us for a while." And she goes, "Yeah. Get on my bad side. I'll beat the crap out of you like I did the last time if someone did something bad to me." And Rumi goes, "For some reason, I feel like I'm gonna like you." And she goes, "I don't feel the same way." And she goes, "Understandable. You normally are the hunter, I'm normally prey, but at this time I'm the adult in this situation, so I'm the rule setter, and you're supposed to try to follow the rules." And Midnight goes, "No, you're going to follow the rules, or your food's being taken away." And Fenris goes, "What? Come doing? I'm a growing kid. I gotta eat. And Midnight goes, yes, but if you disobey the rules, you're getting food taken away. She goes, fine. Jeez. Then Midnight says, and the first rule that goes into effect, stop cussing so much. I don't care if you cuss, it's just don't cuss as much. And she goes, okay, I can try. So she walks to her room and goes, I'm gonna take a little nap until it's done. Come and get me when it's done. So she falls asleep and Mirko goes, oh, I was scared shitless. And Midnight goes, oh yeah, you are the prey in this household now. And Mirko goes, the hell? I'm obedient to both of you now? And Midnight goes, apparently. Just, out there, I'm stronger, but in here, I'm the obedient one. How the hell does that work? And Midnight goes, the same way when you're out there, you can beat the ass of most pro heroes, and you're still like number 15 or 14. And she goes, you still don't even know I'm in the top 10s yet. And she goes, oh, then you get a reward tonight. And Rumi goes, and Rumi gets a shiver down her spine going, ooh, yes. So we skip an hour and there's 30 minutes left and the meat starts cooking and we go to Fenris. And she's currently having a dream, and this dream is of a older version of her, and she's being tortured by this man. And this man is one-handed, and he's pissed at her. And he doesn't know why. And she doesn't know why. And every time he hits her with a sword, cutting her in half. But then she just regenerates and feels the pain. And in the real world, she starts to scream every time she gets hit. So every 5 seconds, she starts screaming. And Mirko finally hears her because she was quiet screaming. Quiet, 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 loud, 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 loud. And it just keeps getting louder and louder. Now, she's full-blown screaming Bloody Mary, and Mirko can't handle it anymore. She runs out of the room, being like, Midnight, you need to help. And Midnight runs into the room and hugs Fenris, and she starts saying comforting words and yells, if that piece of meat burns, I'm going to put it on your head. And she goes, I know, I know, I know. So Rumi runs over to the... Hold on. Ah, crap. And so after the gruesome beating, she finally wakes up and she's in a cold sweat. She's crying. And she's being hugged by Midnight. And the ribbon has connected together. I want to be right. One quick thing before we get back to the story. All 10 of the top 10 criminals in the Discord have been chosen. So if you want to be part of the top 10, you must join the Discord on Monday. Or just join the Discord and on I might actually do that one. That one sounds fun. What if female Deku was the Enchantress? And you must join by April 20... No, not April 20th. March... April, March... Yeah, I think it's March. March 1st, I think. I don't know. Hold on, I'll be right back. May 1st. That's when I'll start be counting. That's when I'll start counting how many people have suggested what ifs. And everybody who suggests a what if or suggestion or on the what ifs tab, you suggest a alteration to a what if or a idea for a what if, and I'll count those. And since it's a limited amount of people, I will count them up, and the top 10 people who have the most suggestions will be in the top 10 criminals list. Or I'll just do it that the top 10 criminals list changes every week. Hopefully I can get different top 10 people, but right now there's only 10 people in the Discord. So if you guys want to be in the top 10 of the subscribers and the people in the Discord, join the Discord, and I'll try to get a system down so I can do that easily. But back onto the story. So she just woke up and she smells something delicious. And she stops crying and wipes her tears and hugs Midnight back, saying thank you. And what's that smell? And she's looking up and she's pressing her chin into Midnight's boobs. And she goes, it smells good. And Midnight goes, that's either the rabbit you smell on me and you want rabbit, or that's the piece of meat that's on the grill. And Midnight starts sniffing there and goes, ah, crap, it's burning. And she lets go of Fenris and says, I'll be right back. And she runs off and flips the piece of meat so it's not completely charred on one side. And she says, it's almost done. It's like 5 more seconds. And Fenris runs over being, and she's starting to pant like a dog and beg like a dog. And Midnight starts to laugh, being like, I want to ask you a question after you're done eating this. And she goes, okay, what is it? And Midnight goes, what do you like better, raw meat or the way I prepare meat? And she goes, I don't know yet. And Midnight's like, but the difference between the two cuts is the raw meat you can eat with your hands. The prepared meat I'm making you eat with a fork and knife. And she goes, you mean the weapons? And Midnight goes, not the weapons. A fork and knife. And she goes, yeah, use the knife to slash and the fork to stab. And Midnight goes, yes, but you only use it for food. You don't use it on people. And she goes, well, that sucks. No wonder my mother took those away from me. Well, you're gonna have to teach me how to use them. And Midnight goes, oh god. So, a quick tutorial within that 5 minutes, and she gets the basis. So, she holds the knife backwards like a dagger, and she holds the fork like a pitchfork. So, she's stabbing the piece of meat and cutting it with a knife, and so she eats a bite, and her mouth starts watering from the flavor. If anybody had a piece of cake that they just couldn't stop eating, and they just eat a piece, savor it, eat a piece, savor it, eat a piece, savor it, and all of a sudden it's gone. The entire cake is gone. That's what happened to Fenris. And she's like, what happened to it? And it took up the entire plate, too. It was that big of a T-bone steak. Or T-bone slab. It was a slab of meat. And Midnight starts to chuckle, being like, you ate it. And Rumi is just still eating her steamed carrots, a few other steamed vegetables, and Fenris looks over and goes, why are you eating plants? And Rumi goes, plants are good? Why wouldn't I eat plants? And she goes, plants are supposed to help with digestion, and that's it. And she goes, yeah, but carrots are good. And she goes, the fuck are carrots? And she hasn't cussed in like 10, 20 minutes. And they're like, she's back to normal. And Midnight goes, that's hers. Carrots are hers, not yours. And so she points at the two fridges that they have and says, hey, that one you don't touch. That one you can touch. But if you move anything to where no one can find it, you don't get to open that ever. And Fenris slowly nods, being like, okay, I understand. But what's in that one? And she points to the one that was told to never touch. And Midnight goes, that's the meat locker. And Fenris sees the padlock on it and goes, oh, do you know I can break that padlock easily? And she goes, I know. But don't. So we skip 6 years. She's level 10. And she's walking home from school. And she just finished a school day with the angry Pomeranian. She's trained him well. Ever since Bakugo tried to attack her once, he's been deathly scared of her. Because she's the wolf of the campus, and anybody who tries to attack her gets a good thrashing. And he looks at her and goes, damn monster. And she goes, no. Wolf. I'm a wolf. Not a monster. I'm a wolf. He goes, no, you're a monster. Wolves aren't that strong. And she goes, wolves have a stronger biting force than a human, and humans can't get out of the bite force of a wolf without the help of other humans. So I'm a wolf, god damn it. And he goes, fine. Damn monstrous wolf. And she goes, that's closer. Still not there yet. And she looks at him with the stink eye, and he gets a little creeped out. And so she's walking home one day, and she feels this presence behind her. She doesn't have a mini map like the doctor does. And Nemesis is always next to her. Just always next to her. Right? Yeah. Ever since that one day, Nemesis has never left her side. Nemesis does not need to eat because it's an apparition of a quirk, but Nemesis prefers sweets over anything. And everybody knows Nemesis as the limiter to Fenris. So everybody looks at Nemesis and so on. Except for the day a gas villain went into the school. The day a gas villain went into the school, Fenris smelled the gas and was like, everybody get out of the freaking school. Something's happening. And he was like, what do you mean? And she goes, I can smell it. Now get the hell out. And she's yelling and she's getting angry because no one's listening to her. And so she tells Nemesis to go to Halbert. And so this giant fucking axe polearm thing slams to the ground and she goes, get the hell out. And everybody starts getting scared and runs out. And she gets hyperactive because the flag flying the reversal moves her from going to sleep with the sleeping gas to being so hyper that she could easily run across the world 10 times before her energy runs out. And so she walks up to the villain and goes, "You're a dumbass." And she just flicks him. And he folds like a piece of paper. She just folds him with a flick. And one of the teachers, hearing Izumi yell, calls up Midnight and says that Izumi's going off the rocker. And Midnight goes, "Okay, I'm coming." And Midnight shows up and Izumi's like, "Gas quirk. He did it." And they just see this guy hanging out of the wall, all folded in half. And she's like, okay, can you back that up? And she goes, Nemesis, you can stop being the Halbert now. And Nemesis goes back to the human form. And she immediately passes out. Because the effects of the gas was stacking on her. And she passes out and she falls forward. And Nemesis goes, "She really shouldn't have told me to go out of Halbert." And Midnight's like, "What do you mean?" And she goes, "She was being affected by an energy effect from the gas, and she is now out cold from the gas." And Midnight's like, "I still don't understand." And Nemesis goes, "When I'm in the Halbert form," ooh, it's 6:30. "When I'm in the Halbert form, I have this ability called like the flag flying the reversal. It's all the negative effects of quirks or abilities someone can give you is reversed, and you gain the positive counteraction." So sleeping gas gave her energy. And she had stacks of sleeping gas because she kept breathing it in. And I'll be right back. Gotta do something. So Nemesis explains all the abilities that she has in the different weapon forms. And says that when she's in Vulcan Cannon mode, Fenris gets speed boost. When she's in the 4 Vulcan Cannon mode, she gets a decrease in speed and an increase in fire rate. And durability. Midnight's like, "Okay, hold up. First off, what do you shoot when you're in Vulcan Cannon mode?" And Nemesis goes, "Energy. Uh, comes out like a laser beam, but it hits like a bullet and disappears." So she just needs to work on stamina. And by this time, the effect is wearing off of Fenris because she's been out for a good hour or two. And Fenris wakes up and Midnight asks if she's okay, and she says she's fine. God damn, no good songs. So Midnight walks up to the principal's office and says that she only acted out like that because she smelled a gas in the hallway and got all the children out. And the principal goes, "What do you mean there was a gas in the hallway?" And Fenris walks in saying, "There's a goddamn villain in the hallway, and fuck you for calling my mother. But also thank you for calling my mother." And she leans on Midnight and says, "I'm tired." Yawns and then slumps to the floor, her passing out on Midnight's leg. So, then like, God dang it. Nemesis, can you carry her? And Nemesis goes, yeah, I can. So Nemesis picks her up and walks her to the car and puts her in the car. And when Nemesis is done putting her in the car and closes the door, slowly and quietly, Nemesis walks to the other side, gets in, and basically turns into a little tiny wolf, a tiny, tiny wolf, and crawls onto Fenris's lap. So she crawls onto Fenris's lap, and Fenris wakes up and sees the little Nemesis on her lap, and she starts petting Nemesis, and Nemesis turns to her and starts growling, and he growls back, showing dominance, and Nemesis goes, Don't don't pet me like that. Pet me the other way. And she goes, oh crap, I forgot. You like sitting the weirdest way possible. And Nemesis goes, fuck off. And she goes, I can't. You stick to me like glue. And she goes, yeah, So they get back home, and Rumi is back already and asks what is Fenris doing home early, and Midnight says, well, there was a villain attack on our school, and she kind of saved the entire school, so I kind of allowed her to come home early. And Rumi goes, that's our little Wolfie. And Fenris growls at her, going, not a goddamn Wolfie. And Midnight goes, that suits you. That should be your hero name, Wolfie. And she goes, if I choose that name for my hero name, I'd be signing my own goddamn death warrant. So fuck off! My hero name is going to be Fenris. And Rumi goes, your real name? And she goes, yes. I'm also going to be known as Empress of Destruction. Duh! And Midnight goes, oh, about that name you told me to look up? That you've been hearing in your dreams? Fenrir, the son of Loki and the bringer of Ragnarok. And she explains what and who Fenrir is, and that only the Sword of Summer can kill Fenrir, but after the Sword of Summer has freed Fenrir. And the Sword of Summer is only destined to cut the bonds once. And when her quirk first started, she only had a one bond. And she's like, oh. Ooh, we need to find the Sword of Summer. And Midnight goes, hell no! Just the mere presence of you would kill me and Rumi. She goes, nah, I wouldn't kill you. It'd just make you my obedient servants. And she goes, exactly. So yeah, no. I may make her another. I may use this picture in another what if. Maybe. So Rumi is laughing at this, being like, the seasoning packet you left on the counter has been added and it's currently marinating right now, and her just saying marinating makes Fenris's mouth water, being like, meat! And Midnight says, no. That's for tomorrow. And Fenris goes, what's tomorrow? And she says, well, first off, it's the UA entrance exams. And second off, tomorrow is when I adopted you. Do you not remember? And she thinks back and goes, oh yeah, you've been celebrating it like it's my birthday. And Midnight goes, why are you laughing? And she goes, I just remembered. My birthday is tomorrow. And Midnight goes, what? Huh? And she goes, yeah. My asshole of a mother left me on my birthday. That could have been the best birthday present ever. I just didn't notice. And she starts laughing like a maniac, and Rumi goes, okay. I'm glad we adopted her. And Midnight, oh, I got a call from my grandmother. Hold on, I'll be back. So, we now do another little time skip, and it's the day of the entrance exams for her first attempt at UA, and her only attempt to get into UA. And she doesn't look like this. She looks like this. She doesn't care what she looks like anymore. She obviously doesn't have the katana. She doesn't need it. And she walks into the auditorium and she sits down and she's just chewing a piece of gum that was specially made for her because it tastes like meat. And she's just chewing it, not giving a crap. And Ida stands up and says his normal spiel about the 0-pointer and then turns to her and says, that is a very disrespectful way to sit and a very disrespectful outfit to wear on UA grounds. And she goes, I don't give a fuck. And she starts growling, and he goes, holy crap, she's scary. And he turns back to Mike and continues his spiel about the 0-pointer. And she goes, shut the hell up already. You know he's about to fucking do it. Just shut the hell up. And Ida quiets and sits down, being completely and utterly embarrassed by her. And she's like, fucking finally, Jesus fucking Christ. And Midnight is in the observation room being like, don't laugh, don't laugh, don't laugh. And Aizawa's in the background just laughing his ass off, being like, I like her. And finally Midnight starts laughing her ass off, being like, oh my god, Aizawa, you missed out on her. And Aizawa goes, oh, she was the one that was referred to me first? And she goes, yeah. She's a fucking hoot and something extra. And Aizawa goes, well, she's going to my class. I don't care what her score is. She's going to my class. And Nezu goes, okay. You do own the teaching division of UA, and I own the grounds of UA, so kind of can't say no to you. And he goes, thank you. So, over the loudspeaker, it calls Fenris to the main office, and she goes, oh, fucking great. And Mike goes, okay, little listener, you just go over there, turn left, and follow the road down. Once you see the big main office, you go to the left, go straight, right, and you'll see the main door that you walk through. And she goes, I already know, Mike. You already know I've been here before. And he goes, oh, yeah. No wonder I keep trying to forget you. You're scary as fuck. And she goes, thank you. I'll be on my way. And she walks away, and he goes, now that the elephant has left the room, and she goes, the fuck you call me? And he goes, nothing, it's a figure of speech. And she goes, you just fucking called me an elephant. And he goes, yes, it's a figure of speech. Means that the big person in the room, the ruler of the room, has left. And she goes, oh, I'm keeping my eye on you, Mike. And she dips out of the class. And he goes, oh, scary. And all of a sudden, they just hear this maniacal laughter from outside the door. And he goes, go already at max volume. And she goes, fucking Christ, Mike. You know I have sensitive ears. And he goes, I know. That's why I went max volume. And everybody's like, the fuck is going on? And he gets back to explaining, and he goes, okay, the written exam is in front of you now. Do it. And he walks to the back, and he just sees Aizawa on the ground rolling around. And he sees Midnight being like, oh my god, you antagonized her? I have to deal with her when she get home. And he goes, I'm sorry, but it kind of escalates around her. And Midnight goes, yeah, it does. Rumi's gonna be pissed. And Mirko, hearing her name, is like, you summon? And Midnight goes, no, you can go home. We just gonna have to deal with a train wreck when we get home. And she goes, oh. Mike, what the hell did you do? And Mike gets scared me knowing that Rumi is very, very, very powerful. And he goes, I accidentally antagonized your daughter. And Rumi looks at him and gives him the death stare. And all of a sudden, this wolf character walks in going, you know you gave me the wrong directions, right? And he goes, oh, crap. She walks right up to him and goes, ready for a sparring match? And he goes, nope, no, I'm not. She goes, but it's my 15th birthday. And Midnight hears this and pales. And she's like, oh, crap. So she picks up her phone and she dials a number and runs out and goes, All Might, we need you here now. And All Might basically appears out of nowhere going, I am here. And she goes, fucking stop yelling, All Might. Jesus fucking Christ, you're too loud. And he goes, I'm sorry, little lady. What's your name? And she goes, Fenris. And he goes, okay, Fenris. I've been called for a sparring match. And she goes, oh, I get to crush you. And he goes, sure. And Izumi is getting impatient for this sparring match. And Midnight goes, wait. You must do it on ground gamma. I think ground gamma is the open field. And she goes, but I can't use my speed at on ground gamma. I can't jump off trees. I can't do parkour. And she starts whimpering like a dog. And Midnight goes, the rest of the grounds are meant for testing. Once testing is over, you can do whatever the hell you want there. You can even rip up the entire ground for all I care. And Nezu goes, yeah, I'm not going to say anything. And Izumi, or not Izumi, God damn it. Fenris looks at him and goes, good idea. Oh, and little rat man, don't you dare fuck with me. And she looks at him and snarls at him and he goes, yes, ma'am. And he walks to his office. He gets out his calming tea and drinks 3 kettles worth. Ow, fuck, I hit my head. Oh, crap. I'm going to end it here. And hopefully you guys enjoyed. Oh, fuck, my head hurts. Oh, crap. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Talk to you guys later. Bye.